Hey everyone, welcome to a special edition of Around the Farm, brought to you by DeKalb and Climate FieldView. I'm your host, Clint, and I am at the Field of Dreams. I mean, this place is absolutely amazing. Join me as we walk around talking to all sorts of different people to figure out how they put this event together. Welcome to Around the Farm at the Field of Dreams. For this special edition of Around the Farm, I'm spending my time at the grand opening of the Baseball Hall of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. Dwyer Brown, one of America's most iconic movie dads, built this museum, and the people came. It's a testament to the stories of the passionate, devoted individuals who have made baseball so meaningful for so many.
I want to thank you all for coming here. This is a labor of love. We're trying to celebrate the heart and soul of baseball. It's been a great game. And I can tell you, I was cut from my freshman high school baseball team, and I tell all those guys who made the team that it's my picture that's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. So I can tell you that dreams do come true, and we try to celebrate that here. The people that had to overcome disabilities or prejudice, we're trying to celebrate them here because, you know, the Hall of Fame does a great job with people who have the stats to get in there. But there's been an awful lot of people who've contributed to this great game. We wanted to make sure they were recognized. So I guess without further ado, thank you again for coming, and we're ready to snip this thing, and I win because I got the biggest scissors.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah! That was pretty cool. Before I got to have my big movie moment with Dwyer Brown, I had to meet some other fine folks at this special event. The first guys I ran into were a couple of baseball card collectors who taught me a bit about barnyard finds. Ryan?
Yes.
Titus?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. So we are sitting here in front of the Baseball Hall of Dreams. It just had their grand opening. That's kind of cool to walk in, see a little bit of the history, and you guys know a little bit about that with all the baseball cards, right?
We do. We own Real Sports Cards, and we have retail stores in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And we got invited here this week by Topps, the face of baseball cards for over 70 years. So can't turn that down. So we get to come down and have fun this week.
I have to know, how has social media changed the baseball card whole industry?
In the 80s, the last time the market was really hot, you know, your marketplace was your local card shop, which was in every town. It's changed with social media because now the marketplace is global. Right? I mean, through Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all of these channels, you know, you can have friends and fellow collectors you're building relationships with all over, and it's really cool.
Incredible.
I'll add to that it's just become so mainstream to collect cards again. So, you know, you got people in pop culture that are, you know, getting back into it, and it's become so iconic now to have the Jordan rookie and all these different cards that, you know, you got Drake and you got all these social media influencers that have hopped on, and now everyone that is kind of in my generation has now kind of hopped on that and is collecting again, which is awesome.
So, you know, we're here, you know, talking about agriculture, baseball. We feel that, of course, the Field of Dreams brings those two together better than anything, right?
Yeah.
But let's talk about cards and farming. I think you mentioned barn finds, right?
I mean, that's like everybody's biggest fantasy or dream as a collector is, you know, the old tobacco tin tucked in the rafters of some
Mickey
attic
Mantles in
or
there.
barn that's got, you know, Ty Cobb,
Tobacco
Honus Wagner tobacco cards. And honestly, you know, at least once a year, you hear about those kind of finds, you know, tucked away that's been hidden for 100 years, and somebody pulls that out, and it's just like a treasure chest.
So y'all own this business. Are you collectors yourselves? Like, do y'all have personal collections?
Absolutely. So my collection's a little bit unique, and being that I'm in a card shop all day long, every day, like the temptation is real to just like open every pack all the time, right?
I could imagine.
So I had to change what I collect. So what I collect now are autographed baseballs where the player put their nickname inscription on there.
Oh, nice.
So, in fact, we just saw a baseball card in here of Al Hrabosky. a lesser known name, but I know him as the Mad Hungarian because I have an Al Hrabaski Mad Hungarian baseball.
Oh, that is so cool.
That's what I collect.
Nice. How about yourself?
I've got a couple of cool collections. I actually have one of my high school teammates has now been drafted by the Blue Jays and has cards. So
that's awesome.
It's been fun getting to collect some of his stuff. I also collect, there's a couple guys that signed Bible verse inscriptions on their autos, so I collect those. And there's a couple short prints that Topps has put out of players golfing. I have a couple of those in my collection. I got one of like Babe Ruth golfing back in the day.
No kidding.
Ted Williams golfing.
Ted Williams.
So you do all these live openings. What is the coolest cards each one of you has found on a live stream?
And, you know, modern cards are so different because they serial number cards. Like, you know exactly how many.
Like one
exist.
of 50 or one of
one of one.
One of ones,
You know, there are cards that only one of that card exists on the planet. That's just amazing to have in your hand. When there's only one of them.
Titus, how about yourself?
As I had mentioned, one of my teammates has his own cards now, and I actually got to pull one of his one-on-ones out of a pack on a live stream.
Oh, that's awesome.
How cool is that? Like, play with this kid growing up, and then all of a sudden you're pulling a card where literally it's the only one in the world.
Next, I detoured for a little ag chat. I mean, this is a farm podcast after all. So I sat down with Ben to talk about farming, cab snacks, and to finally settle the debate on auger wagon versus grain cart. So Ben, here we are in Dyersville, Iowa. I'm gonna assume you farm?
I do.
What kind of corn you plant?
Decal corn.
Oh, I would have never guessed that.
Best there is.
What are you working on at this point in time? How are you getting kind of prepped for harvest?
Right now we're going through grain bins and semis, getting everything ready to go for them, and the combines are ready and ready to hit the field. So basically right now just grain bins and semis mainly.
Nice.
Still doing fungicide applications right now, trying to wrap those up on soybeans. And but yeah, just counting down the days. It looks like maybe the end of August.
Nice. I mean, it's, you know, when you look at your planting data or maybe even some of these fungicide applications, do you keep track of all that stuff?
We do. We use FieldView a lot for everything. We split our planters, so all of our planters have 2 hybrids whenever we go to the field. So I rely on the FieldView to be able to have that data. So right now we're actually working on, we had a little bit trying to make sure our data is all correct in FieldView. So we're trying to download some of that so that when we go to the field with combines, we'll be able to look and see which variety is doing better, what soil type it's best on, what soil type it doesn't match up to. And so utilize FieldView a lot just for analyzing the data.
So Ben, with harvest right around the corner, I gotta ask, what's your go-to cab snack or favorite meal in the cab, either or?
Well, cab snacks, generally there's always a box of cheese and crackers in the cab. And there's generally, like the last couple of years, there's been a bulk bag of Skittles or some type of hard candy.
Sugar high there.
So that little compartment underneath the buddy seats generally got the sweets in it. So it's got Skittles or it's got some type of sweets in it. And then you got the chips and the crackers behind it.
All right. So one other thing too, you know, we always have this debate going on. I go with auger wagon. Do you go auger wagon, grain cart, auger cart?
Auger wagon.
Auger wagon?
Auger wagon.
We have our first auger wagon, everybody. This had for like 2 seasons. Really? First auger wagon.
Yeah, it's always auger wagon.
Oh, there it is. All right, I can go home. I'm done. My time at the Baseball Hall of Dreams was coming to an end, but before I went back to the farm, I got to have the ultimate catch with one of America's favorite movie dads.
Hi.
Dwyer?
What's your name?
Good to see you. Clint Chaffer.
Oh, yeah.
Could I get you to sign my cap?
Sure.
Does that work?
Sure, no problem. Let's see.
Huge fan. Love what you've done here with this place. This
Thank
place
you.
is absolutely beautiful. So.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it was a labor of love. I love baseball and I love Dyersville, so yeah, it had to happen.
I appreciate that. I got to ask just one question.
What's that?
You want to have a catch?
I'd like that.
Oh, perfect. Just grab a mitt out of here.
Yeah. How's that one?
Sure. Hey, that'll work. Now, that's got some age on it there. There you go. What gave you the inspiration to start up, you know, I mean, the Baseball Hall of Dreams?
Well, to be honest, I sort of had a Ray Kinsella moment. I love old buildings, and I saw this old building. It was for sale for years. And I was like, why isn't somebody stepping up and buying this building? It had a big hole in the roof. It was kind of a mess. But then suddenly I sort of saw like a Kinsella neon sign right on that corner. And I thought, am I supposed to listen to this voice and do what Ray does in the movie? And that's what I did. Bought the building, started sandblasting it, all this beautiful limestone underneath, and then we thought, we got to turn this into a baseball mecca. I've been coming out here for 34 years since the movie's been shot, and so we thought, let's call it the baseball building, and let's have a baseball hall of dreams for the people who maybe didn't make it to the Hall of Fame, but who did great things for baseball, and really appreciate the heart and soul of baseball.
So, as I sit here and I think of Field of Dreams, my favorite baseball movie of all times. And you have arguably one of the most iconic scenes in that movie with "Wanna Have a Catch." How have you looked at that, I guess, over time and just seen father sons, father daughters, whoever it is, out of the Field of Dreams having a catch?
I definitely get asked a lot to have a catch. And, to me, what a lot of people don't know is that my dad died 30 days before the movie was shot, unexpectedly. So you can imagine that leaving my father's funeral to go play a dead father coming out of the corn to play catch with their son made that movie much more profound for me. I felt my dad's presence with the ghost players on the field, and so when people ask me to have a catch or they want to tell me their story about their dad, it just reminds me of my dad. And to me, that's sort of the point of the whole movie, is let's have a catch. You tell me about your dad, and I'll tell you about mine, and we pass the time and learn a lot about each other. So to me, it's been a blessing, even though it's, as James Earl says in the movie, this is your penance, Ray, so this is my penance, John.
This has been absolutely awesome. Dream come true. Dwyer, thanks for the catch, man. Dwyer? There's a lot of magic around here. What an incredible experience. I'm so grateful to be able to host this podcast and share this with y'all. At the end of the day, this podcast is for you. So feel free to comment on what you'd like to see us cover. Subscribe, like, and click the bell to get notified each and every time we push out a new episode. To close this season, we'll be covering my time at Farm Progress, we'll talk turkey, and we'll put out a yearly compilation of the best of 22. So stay tuned, and we'll see you around the farm.